The courtroom fell silent. Then the words echoed like thunder. The court finds sufficient grounds to recommend the immediate resignation of Keir Starmer. The United Kingdom had not seen a political moment this explosive in years. In a shocking turn of events, the Supreme Court has intervened at the highest level, shaking the very core of the Labour Party. The ruling, tied to newly uncovered secret gifts worth £39,000, is not just a legal blow, it could mark the end of Starmer's leadership. The country watched in disbelief as the announcement was delivered live, and the fallout, it's only just begun. On the morning of June 17th, the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom delivered one of its most politically sensitive rulings in recent memory. In a high-profile session that was broadcast live, the court declared that Keir Starmer, the current leader of the opposition and head of the Labour Party, had breached the standards expected of public officials. This was not just a warning, it was a legal and symbolic bombshell. The verdict came after weeks of legal petitions, whistleblower reports, and a sealed internal investigation that suddenly went public through a leaked document. At the heart of the ruling were accusations that Starmer had failed to declare gifts valued at over £39,000, received during a time when he held significant political influence. According to the court, this was a direct violation of the Ministerial Code and Parliamentary Register of Interests. Legal experts say the court's judgment is extraordinary. Supreme Court rulings usually avoid political interference unless absolutely necessary. But this time, the court used strong language, stating that public trust is at stake and that no one, regardless of rank, is above transparency. These words were a clear message not just to Starmer, but to every politician watching. While the court cannot technically force a party leader to step down, it does carry massive weight. In practice, when the Supreme Court issues a statement this serious, it places enormous pressure on the Parliament, the public, and even the accused to respond. In this case, it's not about a criminal conviction, it's about the moral authority to lead. And according to the court, Starmer may have lost it. Minutes after the verdict, opposition parties moved quickly. Some Conservative MPs demanded an emergency session in Parliament. Even members of Starmer's own party appeared visibly shaken as the news spread. One senior Labour MP was overheard saying, "It's over. We need a plan B now." But the verdict was not only about Starmer's personal conduct. The court also criticized a broader culture of secrecy and loopholes in gift reporting. It recommended urgent reform in how members of Parliament report personal financial gains and called for an independent watchdog with more power. The judge who read the verdict stated, "This is not about party politics. This is about accountability. Whether £5 or £50,000 what is hidden from the public is a threat to democracy." The statement drew applause from observers in the courtroom. A rare and dramatic moment in such a high-level judicial setting. As the news broke across the country, social media exploded. #StarmerResign trended within minutes. On the streets of London, journalists rushed to get reactions from Parliament members and legal experts. Outside the court, a small but growing crowd gathered, some in support of the decision, others confused or angry, demanding more answers. Despite the magnitude of the ruling, Keir Starmer remained silent for the next few hours. No press conference, no statement, no denial. The Prime Minister's office also declined to comment, saying only that the legal process has taken its course. Political analysts say this ruling could trigger a chain reaction inside the Labour Party. Party leadership may be forced to call an emergency meeting, and Starmer could face a vote of no confidence if he doesn't step aside voluntarily. With the general election window closing in, the timing couldn't be worse. Labour had been building momentum, but this verdict might wipe out months of progress. This is not just a legal issue. It's a credibility crisis. For a leader who built his brand on integrity and fairness, being accused of hiding thousands of pounds in gifts is a devastating blow. Even if Starmer survives politically, the damage to his image might be irreversible. In the next section, we'll take you deep into the shocking details behind the £39,000 in secret gifts. Who gave them? What were they for? And how were they kept hidden from the public eye for so long? The answers might be even more scandalous than the verdict itself. Stay with us. In the hours following the Supreme Court's bombshell ruling, the country waited for one thing: Keir Starmer's response. Cameras pointed at his home. Reporters gathered outside Labour headquarters. News channels ran rolling updates, but there was no statement, no appearance, not even a tweet. For a man known for being composed under pressure, this silence was deafening. Finally, late in the evening, a carefully written statement appeared on Starmer's official social media page. It read, "I deny any wrongdoing. The claims made are politically motivated and misleading. I have always acted within the rules and in the public interest. I will not be stepping down." The statement triggered an instant reaction, one of shock, disbelief, and division. Inside the Labour Party, Starmer's decision not to resign set off a political firestorm. Senior MPs who had once stood firmly behind him began holding private meetings. Party staff were seen leaving Labour looking tense, some refusing to speak to the media. One insider told reporters, "This has broken the trust. People are scared. This could destroy us before the next election." Behind closed doors, key members of the shadow cabinet reportedly held an emergency video call just hours after the court ruling. Sources revealed that at least 5 of Starmer's closest allies expressed concerns about his refusal to acknowledge the damage. One of them reportedly said, "This isn't just a legal issue now, it's moral. We can't defend this." By the next morning, the cracks in the party began to show. 3. High-profile MPs released public statements urging a full and independent internal review. One of them even hinted that Starmer should consider what is best for the future of the party and the country. In politics, that's often code for resign, but the damage was not limited to leadership debates. Party members across the country, from grassroots organizers to long-standing labor councillors, voiced their disappointment. A leaked internal email from a regional leader stated, "We are getting angry calls. People feel lied to. Morale is collapsing." Even Starmer's usual supporters in the press were torn. Some columnists urged patience, saying the court ruling, while serious, did not prove criminal wrongdoing. Others, however, were blunt. One editorial headline in a major national newspaper read, "He promised integrity now, he hides behind denial." Meanwhile, the Conservative Party wasted no time in capitalizing on the chaos. Several Tory MPs called for a full parliamentary investigation. Some even accused Labour of systemic dishonesty. The Prime Minister's office, though careful not to look like they were gloating, released a statement saying, "This is a sad day for British politics. Transparency matters." The biggest blow came when a longtime ally of Starmer, a respected Labour figure in the House of Lords, announced her resignation from the party's advisory board. She said, "The public deserves better. If we claim to fight for justice, we must also live by it." As the pressure built, Starmer attempted to regroup. Reports say he held a closed-door meeting with legal advisors and top political strategists. Some in the room wanted him to issue a stronger denial and push back against the court's authority. Others urged him to take temporary leave until the storm settled. But according to insiders, Starmer refused both suggestions. His words, reportedly, were, "I've done nothing wrong. I won't be bullied into quitting." This stance, firm but isolated, may turn out to be a critical mistake. Political analysts warn that leaders who lose the confidence of their party rarely survive, even if they deny the allegations. One analyst explained, "Once the party believes you're a liability, your time is limited. Loyalty disappears fast in crisis." The bigger problem for Starmer is the upcoming general election. With the public now questioning his integrity, and his party split from within, his chances of leading Labour to victory grow dim. Polls conducted overnight showed a sudden 7-point drop in voter confidence. Swing voters cited lack of transparency and poor judgment as their top concerns. Meanwhile, quiet discussions about a possible replacement have begun. Names like Angela Rayner, Wes Streeting, and Rachel Reeves have been whispered as potential successors. None have confirmed interest, but insiders say leadership talks are already underway still. Some within Labour believe Starmer should be given time to clear his name. They argue that stepping down now would hand a political win to opponents and cause even greater instability. But that view seems to be shrinking by the hour. By the end of the day, the Labour Party was facing a full-blown crisis not just of leadership, but of identity. Can a party that promises change survive while its leader is caught in scandal? And can Starmer survive the next 48 hours? In the final section, we'll turn to the public protests, petitions, and a growing demand for justice. What does this mean for the future of British politics? Could this scandal trigger not just a resignation, but an early general election? The people are speaking, and what they're saying is impossible to ignore. Asterisk. The people had heard enough. As news of the Supreme Court ruling spread, the anger didn't stay online, it hit the streets. By sunrise the next day, small protest groups were already forming in major cities. London, Manchester, Birmingham saw growing crowds gathering near government buildings, many holding signs that read, "Resign now, no one is above the law," and £39,000. For what? One moment in particular stood out. Outside Parliament, a young woman shouted, through a megaphone, "If we'd taken secret money, we'd be in jail. Why should Starmer be treated differently?" The crowd cheered. The frustration was real, raw, and spreading fast online. The reaction was just as explosive. The hashtag step down Starmer began trending across Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Influencers, political commentators, and even celebrities joined the discussion. A viral video from a former Labour voter said, "We gave him our hope, he gave us silence and luxury trips." The video hit 1 million views in 2 hours. Petitions demanding Starmer's resignation quickly gathered steam. One popular petition passed 500,000 signatures by midday, with its creators calling for not just his removal, but a full investigation into how much Labour's top leadership knew. Another trending post asked, "What else has been hidden? If one man can take £39,000 quietly, what's the real cost of politics?" But it wasn't just angry voters. Political analysts, former civil servants, and legal experts also joined the debate. Some questioned whether this situation, if allowed to continue, could create a dangerous precedent. If a court rules against a political leader and nothing changes, what message are we sending to future leaders? One retired judge asked during a news panel. Back in Parliament, the pressure continued to build. Several backbench MPs threatened to resign from the party if Starmer didn't step aside. A group of senior Labour members reportedly drafted a formal letter calling for an emergency vote of no confidence. That letter, according to leaks, already had enough signatures to trigger internal action at the same time. The Prime Minister's office hinted that the government was watching the situation very closely. A spokesperson said, "The stability of our democracy requires trust. We hope all leaders take responsibility when serious allegations arise." Though carefully worded, the meaning was clear: if Starmer did not act, Parliament might. But the real question on everyone's mind was, what happens next? If Starmer continues to resist stepping down, the Labour Party could see its worst internal battle in a decade. Leadership challenges could fracture the party just months before a general election. If enough MPs walk away or turn against him, Labour's public image could collapse, giving a massive advantage to their political rivals. Some believe that, if the crisis continues to grow, it may even push the government to call an early general electionist, especially if confidence in the opposition completely breaks down. That would be an extreme step, but the UK has seen surprise elections in the past during moments of political chaos. Others believe Starmer might try to ride out the storm by announcing reforms, firing key staff, or offering to repay the money linked to the gifts. But critics say that's not enough. The damage has already been done. "This isn't about money, it's about trust," one protester told reporters. Meanwhile, legal experts continue to debate the long-term consequences of the Supreme Court's involvement. While the court cannot remove a party leader, their ruling now lives in the public record. Future voters, journalists, and historians will all remember this moment. Some even say this could change how British politics works forever. By the end of the day, as the sky darkened over Westminster, one thing was clear: this story wasn't just about one man or one scandal. It was about how much the public is willing to tolerate in a system that promises accountability but often delivers silence. Whether Keir Starmer steps down tomorrow, next week, or not at all, the pressure is no longer just political. It's personal, it's legal, it's national, and the public is watching every move. This has been one of the most dramatic moments in modern British political history. But the story isn't finished yet. Stay tuned. We'll keep following every twist, every statement, and every shake of power as it unfolds.